More breaking news on my off day here on a Friday as Justin Fields, is reported by Ian Rappoport of NFL Network, is expected to start Week 1 of the NFL season for the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Atlanta Falcons after Russell Wilson re-aggravated a calf injury earlier this week in practice. This is a massive news story that just made Week 1 in Steelers Nation a whole lot more interesting. So today I'm going to be talking about how this affects the Steelers game plan, how this is going to play out here over this week, the top storylines now that Fields is going to be starting this week versus Russell Wilson. It's going to be a pretty jam-packed video here, guys, so buckle up. But make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. No matter what happens here during this saga of Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields, whoever ends up being the starter long-term here in Pittsburgh, we're going to be covering it for you guys right here on the channel. We have videos every day. Usually I'm in studio with my graphics, but today it's my day off, and of course we get two breaking news stories that broke today. So let's get into this one here, which is that Justin Fields will or is expected to start. I guess it's not officially been made official by the team. The team did list Russell Wilson as questionable, but Ian Rappoport of NFL Network just went on Adam Rank's show, of all people, and reported that the Steelers expect Justin Fields to be the one under center when the team lines up against the Atlanta Falcons in Week 1. Now, this completely trashes the preview that I put out earlier this week where I expected Russell Wilson to be the starter, because Justin Fields and Russell Wilson are different quarterbacks. Now, you heard Mike Tomlin say earlier this week that if they have to go to Fields, it doesn't change the game plan all that much. It's going to change the game plan a little, okay? Because Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields, we know Fields is more mobile. We know that he is a more dynamic rusher of the football. So they're going to be asking different things out of Justin Fields this week than what they probably would have been asking out of Russell Wilson. And it's going to be very interesting to see play out here over the course of the weekend. And, I think that the two main ways that we're going to see differences in the game plan for Justin Fields as compared to Russell Wilson is that with Fields, you're going to see a lot more quarterback run game. There's going to be a lot of read option stuff. There's going to be a lot of design quarterback run game, and hopefully Arthur Smith has all that stuff packaged out and ready to go. If I know this team, and I know Arthur Smith, and I know Mike Tomlin, they definitely have all that stuff ready to go in the event he had to come in. So I think that this is going to be a lot of fun, right? Because we didn't see a whole lot of the creative stuff in the preseason, right? I think Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin wanted to kind of put a curtain, kind of put a veil over all the creative QB run game stuff that they're going to be unveiling here during this season. I also think there's going to be less drop-back passing. I think that the Steelers are really going to lean into trying to dominate this football game on the ground with Najee Harris, with Jaylen Warren, and now this Atlanta defense is going to have to deal with both that rushing duo and Justin Fields. So I would expect a lot of heavy boxes from the Atlanta Falcons, one high safety stuff, sometimes even zero high safety stuff, just to try to get those numbers back in their favor against the Steelers' run game. And it puts a lot of emphasis on the run blocking of the offensive line for the Steelers as well. Spencer Anderson expected to start at left guard. Zach Frazier had some rough moments as a run blocker in the preseason. Is he going to be able to handle that first NFL action? Broderick Jones, he didn't look good as a run blocker or as a pass protector in preseason. How is he going to look? He's expected to start at right tackle. So there's a lot of question marks here. It definitely seems like the Steelers are going to lean into the run game moving forward, heading into this week, and I'm very excited to see what it looks like, because I love Najee Harris, I love Jaylen Warren, and now I kind of really like this dynamic with Justin Fields here, who is maybe the most dynamic rusher on the Steelers roster. Now, we know Jaylen Warren and Najee are good backs in their own right, but adding that quarterback rushing element is going to be very interesting. And if Justin Fields is any sort of good as a passer on Sunday, I think the Steelers are going to have a pretty darn good chance at coming away with the victory versus the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to be going over some top storylines now that Fields will be or is expected to start this week. against the Falcons here in just a second. But before we get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Prize Picks, which is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps with Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. So all you have to do is pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and then watch the winnings roll in. You can get in on the fun right now with your friends and become a part of the Prize Picks community today. So the way to do that is you download the Prize Picks app right now on your phone and use code CLNS. And then you guys get $50 instantly when you just play $5. So you play $5 on Prize Picks and you use code CLNS. Prize Picks is going to give you $50 additional to use on your promotion. So that's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win that first projection to get the $50. It's guaranteed, so there's no reason not to download that Prize Picks app right now and get started here before the Eagles play the Packers tonight. Prize Picks, run your game. Okay, so let's talk about some storylines here because there's a lot that surrounding this story here of Justin Fields starting that Steelers fans need to keep their eye on. First off, and this is front and center, okay, if Justin Fields plays well this week, the Steelers offense looks effective, they're scoring points, they win the football game, all these different things. I think Mike Tomlin has to stick with the hot hand and stick with Justin Fields for this season as the team starter. This is an incredible opportunity for Justin Fields, who lost the initial quarterback battle this year with Russell Wilson. Now he gets a chance to prove his worth as somebody that could be the future franchise quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers here to show what he can do. I thought he showed some good moments in the preseason. There was definitely some warts that he showed in the preseason. I've covered those ad nauseum here on the channel. I don't think Justin Fields was perfect in the preseason by any stretch of the imagination. I still think he has certain flaws in his game as a pocket passer that the Steelers and Steelers fans should be relatively concerned about in terms of winning through the air. But there's no doubt about it, man. He's a dynamic talent. He can throw from a bunch of different platforms and arm angles, and he is extremely dynamic as a quarterback rushing threat. Probably the best in the game at the position in terms of his ability to make guys miss, make dynamic plays with his legs. He is a special runner with the ball in his hands, and I expect to see a lot of that stuff from him this weekend in Atlanta. So I'm very excited to see that. But also, Fields is from Georgia. He was a Falcons fan growing up, and he's going to be playing against his hometown team in Georgia this weekend. I mean, what a story for Justin Fields, who was obviously a highly touted quarterback out of Georgia. And, you know, he goes to the University of Georgia, eventually transfers to Ohio State, but that's home for him, man. And he's going to have a lot of family. He's going to have a lot of friends in attendance in that game, especially if he ends up starting, which it sounds like he will be. And, you know, it's going to be a big time story to keep your eye on here because this is a hell of an opportunity for this young man who's trying to prove to himself, to the league, to the Steelers that he can be a franchise caliber quarterback for an NFL team. Hopefully it's the Steelers. I'm rooting like heck for him, man. If he's the one out there, and it seems like he is, I really hope that he balls out and the Steelers start out 1-0, and we can really start celebrating the start of the Justin Fields era here in Pittsburgh. All right, that's going to be it for me today, guys. I really do appreciate all of your support. We will be going live on Sunday, an hour before this football game begins. Coop and I will be doing a bunch of Super Chat promotions. We got a bunch of stuff for our live watch party on Sunday. You're not going to want to miss any of that. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that great stuff. Really do appreciate your guys' support. And until tomorrow, guys, here we go, Steelers.